Here in Columbiana as a local attorney and an active member of the Columbiana community. But before I get started, I just want to say how much Columbiana has changed since I left in April 1982. Now, I was born on December 3rd, 1922. Moved here at age 18 along with my parents in 1940. Same year I headed to Ohio State. You call it the Ohio State University.
Yeah, right.
That summer, while golfing at Valley Golf, I met my future wife, Miriam Esterly, whose family had roots in Columbiana dating back to 1803. Well, we dated for a while, and then I convinced her parents to allow her to attend Ohio State instead of Youngstown College. Well, by 1947, we both graduated, becoming Buckeye alums. She with a bachelor's, me with my law degree. We decided to cap off that momentous year by getting married in November. And speaking of Buckeyes, we were diehard OSU fans. Season ticket holders, attending as many home games as we could during my lifetime. Sat through snowstorms, downpours. If the score was 68-0, you wouldn't find me leaving that stadium. Fair weather fan? Not this guy. Go Bucks. After graduation, we returned to Columbiana and I started a law practice that lasted for 34 years, the rest of my life. I couldn't have imagined a better place to live and to work and to raise a family. I never thought of living anywhere else. You see, I was a pretty conservative guy. I functioned best in a world of organization and familiarity. My office was my favorite place to be. Left for the office in the morning, came home for dinner at 5, back until 9 or 10. 5 days a week. Now in those days, when I started, we didn't have computers, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have MacBooks. We had typewriters and dictaphones. And I used dictaphones a lot. I even dictated memos to my own kids with my dictaphone. Well, let me share a funny story about one of my first years of practice. So me, a local podiatrist, Lou Cosentino, and a dentist, George Myers, all shared a tiny suite of offices on the second floor of what is now Anthurium. Well, there was also a small waiting room, and this was all at the top of a steep set of stairs. Now, we didn't have patients and we didn't have clients, so we just sat around a lot and shot the breeze or played cards in that small little tiny waiting room. But as soon as we heard somebody's feet hit those stairs, we raced back to our offices to sit there and look like we're just waiting for somebody who really had a lot to do. We were all young, we were energetic, and we wanted to grow those businesses. Now across the street was our good friend John Fitzpatrick's clothing store. And there were even a couple of shoe stores, one of which I understand is now a vape shop, whatever that is.
Allen's, wasn't it?
Now, since most families only had one car, shopping local was the thing. And speaking of cars, one thing you ought to know about me is I had a love affair with mine. Clean and polished, washed every weekend. Picture me in a white shirt, kind of like this one, but open at the collar because I'm not at the office. Wingtips and either khakis or dress pants, washing my car. The same uniform that I mowed the grass in.
Oh, jeez.
Casual guy, not in my vocabulary. Columbiana was a great place to get involved, and that's exactly what I did soon after we came back. Joined the local Rotary Club, was appointed the village solicitor, village attorney, became a bank director and along with my wife was one of the charter members of the Historical Society. Now, speaking of my wife, she was a wonderful partner. Got involved in everything Columbiana, still is. We had 35 wonderful years together of marriage. Now, after we'd been here about six years, we had our first child, a little girl named Amy, followed 3.5 years later by our son, Mark. Now, I was around to watch Amy start in her career as a teacher here in Columbiana. I was around to see Mark through most of his law school education, but just like had happened with my own father, he passed away a couple months before I graduated from law school. Same thing happened. A couple months before Mark graduated, I passed away. Kind of funny how life repeats itself. If I were alive today, I'd be 102 years old. My wife Miriam will celebrate her 100th birthday next June.
For those of you who don't know her, she's a great lady.
Yeah.
I
Excuse
had
me.
a fulfilling life, always surrounded by family and friends. Again, I couldn't have imagined a better place to live. Now, one of my favorite, proudest moments was receiving the Lifetime Service Award from our Chamber of Commerce. It was really nice to be recognized for all the work I'd done and all the love I poured into this community. So here's to the legacy that we're all going to leave behind. May we cherish every moment we spend on this earth and in this place we call home. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Great job.
Wonderful.